The weigh-in, IWF senior policy analyst Patrice Leon-Wooka and Kaltbaum Capital Management Fox Business contributor Gary Kaltbaum. Patrice, let me start with you. It's interesting, of course, President Trump, he removed Janet Yellen. He didn't renew her and brought in Ben Bernanke. It seems like Yellen will certainly be prepared to take action here. Do you think, Powell, rather. I always do that. Do you think Powell is prepared to take action before the September meeting?
Well, I think so, and I hope so. Certainly, we saw that in his comments in July that, he's like, okay, this is maybe a kind of a mid-cycle adjustment, and so suggesting that we shouldn't expect anything different or any further rate reductions. But, there are a lot of things that are coming up against him. I mean, and really nudging the idea of continuing to decrease these rates. We look at the trade issues. We look at the turmoil in Hong Kong, and then we're going to have a slew of economic indicators coming out this week, Charles, up to tomorrow and Friday, from consumer confidence, to manufacturing output. So I think based on a lot of what those factors point to, can really continue to nudge him to really say, okay, I can't wait till September. We shouldn't wait till September. Let's do something now.
So, Gary, I think that mid-cycle adjustment thing was unnecessary, and I think it roiled the markets. We saw that day. Going back, I think it was May 1st, he said that low inflation was transitory. Then you go back to October 3rd of last year, he said they were a long ways from neutrality, hinting at many more interest rate hikes at the time. All of those things scaring the heck out of the market, and I think chipping away at Fed credibility.
So you mean they're like many months behind the curve, Charles? Look, let's be clear. It is a 100% certainty that they will not wait till the end of September to cut rates if the markets continue down and the real rates continue lower. They are at 2 to 2.25% right now. The 10 years at 1.58. Just to catch up with the market, they have to lower rates 0.5%. But I have to add, the president needs to stop jawboning them. I really think that the Fed is in discussions right now to make a move, and they possibly do it today or tomorrow, but they won't do it because they will look political if they do it while the president is yapping away at them. So if he takes a couple of days off, I am pretty sure another 500 points down in the market that they are going to come out and say, here is some insurance. I think that would be a good move on his part.
I said a couple of weeks ago I'd like to see President Trump not tweet about the Fed. But real quick, Gary, I want to go back to you on this. Is it worrisome, though, that the Fed may be making policy decisions based on animosity or to show President Trump that they're not weak rather than their overall, whatever their mandates are because they've multiplied over the years?
My bigger worry is when they say they're data dependent. These are supposed to be geniuses, but they wait till something already happens before they make a move. Markets are just a lot smarter than they are. And when you're seeing negative rates around the globe, when you are seeing amazingly 1.58 on the 10-year, that's speaking. That's not just speaking. That's got a bullhorn yelling and screaming that something's up. And we have recessions. Or if Germany's in recession, the rest of Europe pretty much is. Asia's contracting. Right. I don't think we're immune. I think that's what the markets are saying. And the Fed needs to act sooner rather than later. And you remember, I don't like easy money, Fed, but when you're behind the curve, you're behind the curve.
Real quick, Patrice, the reason I keep saying Bernanke, he wrote a piece in 2002 I encourage everyone to read, where he says sustained deflation is highly destructive to a modern economy, should be resisted, and he emphasized the prevention of deflation rather than trying to cure it. That being said, would you think the markets would panic if the Fed intervened before the next meeting with the 50 basis point cut? How do you think the market would react to that?
Well, I actually think it would bring some stability to the volatile market right now. I think it's suggesting, indicating that the Federal Reserve recognizes there are some alarm bells, and that if you want to see the economy continue to be strong and wade through this kind of tumultuous period, okay, this is a way to do it. And so I think that would stabilize the markets, at least in the short term.
All right. Patrice, Gary, thank you both very much. Really